we're here and we're reviewing a series on HBO called Run. It's one that I think came out about this time last year, like March, April 2020. And it's one that I started watching because I saw it and I saw the trailer and I was intrigued. And then I ended up watching it while he was in the room, so he also has some opinions on
I've
it.
gleaned some things from watching the series, but she's more in depth than I am on this series.
So I don't know if you have seen the trailer or anything, but basically the premise is, do you know the guy from um, the what he's from? He's in Star Wars. He's in Star Wars. He's one of
Is
the
he
bad
one of,
guys in Star
he's
Wars.
like one of the generals in the new Star Wars?
Yes,
Okay.
he's like
He's like one of the admirals, one of those in the new
who's
saga.
the really bad guy? Adam Driver. Adam Driver's like,
oh, he's like a henchman for Kylo Ren.
yes.
Okay.
Yes. Anywho,
he's got red hair.
and then some unknown girl, like I don't know who she is. Anyways, the idea is that they're like old college flames, and they have this agreement that if one person texts the other one run, and then the other one responds with run in 24 hours, then they would get on a train and go across country, and at the end of their trip across country they would decide whether or not they were going to stay together or never see each other again.
So go ahead,
so yeah, that's the plot, and we see them, in the first episode, the woman, her name's Ruby. She gets a text from the guy, Billy, yeah, and it says run, and then it's like, she's like doing her life. She has a husband, she has kids, and she's like, what am I gonna do? And so then she texts run back, and then she runs and gets on this train and meets him, and then it's like, there we go, and then they get into all these like hijinks,
shenanigans
and yeah, so that's kind of that's the intro to the movie.
And from looking at her IMDb, I think she's most known for Nurse Jackie. She's probably something on Nurse Jackie. She was on Walking Dead at one point in time too, but I don't remember her from Walking Dead. Maybe it was after the Negan stuff, but okay. So
I just have to say, when I first started this series, I stopped after the first episode because I was so disgusted. I was like, I cannot believe that she would just leave her family like that. Okay, maybe her husband is an asshole.
It hits differently now because Katie's got a kid, so it hits different.
Well, but but maybe her husband is an asshole, which he's not. But I could relate to being with somebody that I don't want to be with, but just kind of being with them because of the inertia of all of it. Stop, not with you. But the fact that she would just leave her kids like that was like, ugh, like left a really like sour taste in my mouth. Yeah.
So okay, and like the ex-boyfriend's a con artist, and like, I mean, like, okay, so he's a self-help guy, like that's his spiel, and his shtick, and but it's kind of like watching an abusive relationship, like where like, like this guy dumps his girlfriend, and then like he's like, yeah, I could basically get her to run back to me at the drop of a hat.
Well, she left him the first time. But anyways,
it's a weird
they fight a lot.
And you threw away your whole life for this guy that you're fighting with after like 20 minutes of like getting together with him on the train.
Yeah, and like you haven't seen him in 10 plus years, and it's just like, oh.
He's shady. He's super shady.
So anyways, I don't know what compelled me to pick it back up. Probably just because
boredom?
Yes, I think so.
She just wants trash. She wants to watch something while she's, in between, when she's taking care of Poopy and then he falls asleep and then watch it.
But yeah, so I picked it back up recently because I was like, I just want to see where this goes. And like the more that I watched it, the more that I was like, this is really, really not good. Like this, there's no redeeming. Like there's no point where I feel like any of these characters are redeemed. Like I don't. There's only one part where the Ruby, she's kind of having a monologue about like why she has done the things that she has done, and she says, you know, this whole thing about like how she has been um just kind of living for her kids and for her husband for so long that she has lost who she is. And I feel like that would probably resonate with a lot of people. I feel like I've heard a lot of other moms like more seasoned than me say that, and so I feel like that might be you know,
Her kids in the series are like early tens,
yeah.
tweens, I guess, or whatever,
Mhm.
getting ready to hit teenager years or
Yeah, so it's
whatever.
not like she's leaving a baby or
Nah,
anything.
she's not. She didn't have a newborn and was like, yeet.
Bye.
um, but
But that was the one part that I felt like, okay, that I feel like that's worthwhile to be said sometimes. Um, but other than that, I felt like there was.
they didn't do a really good job of making you like either of these characters, because like she seemed like, okay, no offense, she seemed like a dummy Facebook mom that was getting led on by her ex-boyfriend, and like this guy's constantly lying to her throughout the whole series, and
Mm-hmm.
like she's just kind of like eating it up the whole time, and it's kind of like, oh my god, like what are we watching? You throw away your husband and your kids for this guy out of everything.
Yes, yes. It was very frustrating to watch, and I felt like it didn't really. There was no part at which it really.
You weren't ever really questioning, like, is she in the right, is she in the wrong, because they didn't really give you anything
Yes,
to like to chew on, to be like, maybe she's got a real good reason to be like.
there was that only
They threw.
that one monologue that I just talked about. That was it. That was the only thing that really gave her any justification for doing any of this.
And then at one point in time, it seemed like they were going to address it maybe later or something, but like they
Mm-hmm.
talked about, like, she calls up during one of her things, or she's talking to one of the kids or something, and then
Oh, uh
the
huh.
kid mentions an au pair that just got added on or something.
Yeah, like she had been gone for one day, and then her husband had already hired a nanny, and so you think that maybe like the husband is cheating on
Like,
her or
yeah, maybe,
something.
oh, there's a little doubt there, and then it's never really addressed ever again.
Yeah. So it and
And you don't really get a temperature on the husband, other than he's kind of like, what's going on, like.
yeah, and he's I mean he's upset. He's upset that she's like run off and
He's handling it pretty well.
yeah.
I mean, like, the way that the series plays out, he's handling it pretty well, all things considered.
But I mean it's rightfully so. It's justified for him to be upset in this
Yeah, yeah,
situation.
yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. So it's like you can't really fault him for that. You can't I don't know I the it's it leaves me with an uneasy feeling, especially I don't want to spoil it, not that I would recommend watching it, but especially the ending, because it really didn't wrap anything up, and it just kind of like left me feeling like what was the point.
Yeah. So without spoiling anything, I mean, because like that's not
That
that's just our opinion on the ending. If you
mhm.
watch this, it's, whatever you want.
Leave
Leave
your
leave
comments,
leave a
let us know what
comment.
you think.
Um, yeah, but I'll agree with that, and I didn't care for any of it.
Yeah,
And they added characters in here that were just kind of in
for
there
no
for no
reason.
reason, and they
Yeah,
tried to give them like some backstory, like kind of like make you care about them, but they didn't. But you didn't.
yeah, except for the fact that they were more likable than the
Yes,
main characters.
yeah, they were more interesting than the main characters. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The other thing that I have to say is that there was a lot of sex. Like, if you just want a movie that, like, you're just watching softcore porn, most of it, like, this might be it.
but did you actually see breasts?
No, but like there's a lot of well,
Did you see?
there's a lot of suggestive scenes. Let's say that.
Okay, but you didn't see
I
anything.
don't think you see anything.
Did you? You didn't see any genitals at all?
Mm-mm.
No genitals.
Mm-mm.
All right.
Yeah, yeah, but and it was just like it didn't really have a purpose. It didn't have a purpose. None of it. The whole series didn't have a purpose, especially not the sex.
It's like chewing bubblegum when you're hungry. Like it's just is nothing.
Yeah.
No offense. I mean, like to each their own. Someone probably really likes this, but for us, I mean, it hit different with you because the family thing.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really care for it at all.
Mm-mm.
But
Yeah.
but to be fair, the trailer, I didn't care for the trailer either, and we actually kind of joked about not caring for the trailer. But then you're like, "Hey, I'm gonna watch it." I was like, "Oh."
You know what it was though? It was the fucking it was sorry.
Potty mouth. I'd have been really good about it.
It was the guy. It was the guy from Star Wars. I had seen him in another movie, which I can't remember. I think it was called.
That's it. That's enough for you to buy this.
I think it was called Ned or Ed or Four or something. I don't know.
He's out there.
But he was really good in that, and I liked him in Star Wars. So I was like, okay, well, let's see what's going on. Like I felt like I was intrigued.
He played his role well, and if her role was to be dumb about everything and just be kind of love struck the whole time, then she played her role.
I don't think the actors. I think the actors did a fine job. I think it was the way it was written. I just didn't care for the story.
Yeah, but
yeah, I will give it like.
Okay, so out of a 5, on Katie's
Satisfaction.
Rank, on Satisfaction.
I don't know, probably a 1.
I'd say 1 or 0, like because But going into it, I mean, like my expectations were low, but like then I watched it and it was super.
It's a
low.
new low.
All right, so closing thoughts. That's it.
Closing thoughts. Run HBO series. Not great.
Not great.
All right, I think that's it.
That's it.
All right, bye.